Hey, you want one of my GameStop pre-orders? This one right here? Yeah, okay. So here's what you gotta do. Be liked, be commented, and be subscribed. And hit the notification bell. That's what PokeRev says every single time, right? Okay. And then you're gonna type ShinyVert into the comment section if you would like to win this Yanamega Journey Together 3-pack blister. So I'm gonna use ShinyVert real quick, just as a quick explanation or an example of what not to do. So what not to do is not watch Mimic Brew videos, because you would be having a fantastic day today potentially if you watched this video right here. This was the video I told you to drop what you're doing and get your ass to GameStop before the end of tonight. I made that video as fast as I could. So you're welcome.
Mimic Brew, I like your takes, bro.
Welcome to Hottest Cards of the Week, the weekly series where every Friday night we review the hottest modern Pokemon cards of the week. Real quick shout out to Danny Phantom. He gave me the biggest shout out of all time ever. That was cool. So I had a Danny Phantom shout out, and I got some GameStop pre-orders. I got enough to where I'm giving away a 3-pack blister, so I'm having a very good day, and I hope you guys are too. Although I have a feeling, because I only have 6,000 subs, that means there's like 7 billion people that didn't watch that video I made, so there's a lot of people that did not get what they wanted today. But here's your chance. Type ShinyVert in the comment section. Be liked, be commented, be subscribed. Alright, so normal routine for this week. However, we are going to look at, what are we going to look at? We're going to look at Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge, just for fun, in honor of Journey Together and Trainers Pokemon at the end of today's video. Other than that, basic. I'll try to keep it under an hour. Alright, let's get to it.
Mimic Brew, I like your takes, bro. There's videos I've seen. You have very, very solid takes.
All right, here we go. And just a reminder, we are going to look at Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge at the end of the video. Just for fun, in honor of Journey Together. And so, okay, so here we go. All I really wrote for base set is Jock the Bromeo. He's up like quite a bit, actually. And then I wanted to talk about, while we're up here, I'm just going to talk about this top structuring. So it used to always be Miriam at $28. Miriam's the same price she's always been. She went up and she went back down to the price she's always been. However, there's an entire row of cards here, the Storyline Trio plus Drowsy. And I just wanted to point out that I think these 4 cards are going to stay above Miriam moving forward. For the longest time, Gardevoir's $20, Miriam was $25, and you went down. Now I see all 4 of these, Ralts, Kirilla, Gardevoir, and then Drowsy, of course. I see all 4 of them staying above Miriam, and this is kind of the new look for the Scarlet and Violet base set chase cards. These 4 and then Miriam, whereas it used to be Miriam and then those 4, or, you know, whatever. So that's all I got, but let's go ahead and take a look at Jock real quick. So Jock the Bromeo is up quite a bit. He's up 80% on the 3-month chart, as you can see right there. He had a low on the 90-day of 385, and he has a high of 806. And other than that, then we're going to go to Paldea. Why am I on Tinkaton? That was it. We're speeding. So something I didn't tell you guys, I've never told you guys in 8 months of doing this series, is I work at 6 a.m. every Saturday morning. So I upload this video late, you know, like really late. But I'm actually going to be waking up even earlier tomorrow morning, so I am going to speed run. I'm absolutely speed running this. I can promise you this ain't going to be an hour long. Paldea Carp is all the way down to 230. Magikarp right here hit a high of 280, and Magikarp has been drizzling and drizzling. So this whole pop and fizzle that we're experiencing with illustration rares over the last 3 months, it is so eerily similar to the trainer galleries of last April. So don't be surprised if, you know, we get a round 2 of IRs in the near future now that they're building higher support lines. I'm just saying. And then so Paldea, Tinkatuff IR, and then Ice Cube. There wasn't a lot, so as you can see real quick, Tinkaton EX, the SIR right here, is right at $30 in case you didn't watch last week's episode. That's very good for Tinkaton, but it's down to $2 or $3. But we're going to look at Tinkatuff at $18.65 real quick. On the 1 month chart, Tinkatuff had a low of 1471 and a high of 1860 right there. And then there's your 6 month chart for Tinkatuff, up 156%. Used to be a $7 card, now it's an $18 card. And that's Tinka Tough, not Tinka Tink or Tinka Ton. That is the stage 1 Tinka Tough. Alright, Tinka Tough. And then Ice Cube went down, but then Ice Cube's leveling out. So it looks like Ice Cube might actually be a $15 card or so. So as you see right here, this is a 3-month chart. It hit a high of about 16. And so I just wanted to point out that Ice Cube went down from 16 to about 13, which is pretty far fall, you know, 16, 13, but then is now back up to almost 15. So I can see Ice Cube flattening out around 14, 13, 14, 15. Just want to point that out. Other than that, yeah, I think that's it. Magikarp's down, Tinka Tough is up, and Ice Cube's leveling out. Yeah. You got Sudowoodo still at 15. You know, we're getting more and more $12 to $15 IRs, like that second tier Paldea IR level. Yeah, and also we're getting a similar thing in Paradox. Alright, let's move on. So Obsidian Lames. Cleffa, Ninetales down, ARVEN, and I circled ARVEN. Okay, so Cleffa hit a high like 28, so Cleffa's down $10 already. I think it was a high of 28, something like that. Let's take a look. Hit a high, what is that, 29? Yeah, 29. So Cleffa, but still, oh, not holding over 20, under 20. That's not good. Who knows? People love this card. Don't be surprised if it goes back up over 20. Cleffa's the solid one. There's not a lot of solid cards in this set. Okay, so 18. And then Ninetales, let's check out Ninetales' free fall real quick. So right there, Ninetales hit a high of 34, Ninetales at 22. However, Ninetales, yeah, you see that banding? You see that banding right there and flattening out? Don't be surprised Ninetales holds over 20. Right there. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised Ninetales does way better than hold over 20. People love this card so much. They really do. At least it seems like they do. People talk like they love Ninetales IR. You know, the market's not necessarily, you know, is what it is. And then we're going to look at ARVEN. I already have ARVEN's chart pulled up right here. So I wanted to just show you the sales on, so hold on a sec. So go to the 1 month. I'm always trying to find cards to help you guys make a little extra money. Either sell the play sets of 4 on eBay if you have 4 of them, or trade them into your card shop to get $1 off some trade-ins. But so you see right here, I'm going to show you the 1 month for ARVEN. ARVEN is a card that most cards like ARVEN would have fizzled out by now, but he's just continuously so playable that I'm going to show you. So right here, essentially what I'm showing you right now is the regular uncommon is $2.50 and the reverse holo is $4 or even $5. So in reverse holos of playable cards go for more on eBay. So if you had a play set of reverse holo ARVENs, you might be able to actually sell those for like $20 on eBay. If you had a play set of specifically Obsidian Flames reverse holo ARVENs. The Scarlet and Violet base set ARVEN is worth half as much as the Obsidian Flames one, just FYI. The base set one is $1.25 and like $2.50 for the reverse holo, whereas this one is $2.50 and $5, so that's pretty significant for an uncommon card. Alright, let's go to 151. Alright, Blastoise is doing very good. Charmander is down freaking huge. I looked through all the sales on Charmander because everything about Charmander's up and down. It doesn't necessarily, I couldn't find any glaring sales. So yeah, we'll get into that in a sec. Everything, Mew Full Art is doing very well because it's still holding over 21.36. But a lot of the other Full Arts are cheaper than they've ever been, which is weird because it's 151. We're talking about, you know, it's a bubble and all that. But Blastoise EX Full Art, I've never seen only $14. I've never seen Venusaur at only $14. So a lot of these Full Arts, and then Charizard EX at $37. It's been like 4 months and Charizard's been down to $37, the Full Art. So, for whatever reason, a lot of 151, unless you're talking about Blastoise, which is at $85 right here and now, and then like Mew, like the Mew Full Art and the Blastoise, everything else is like, because yeah, let's look at the Charmander. So Charmander's all the way back down to 46. This is a card that like last week or 2 weeks ago I was saying was $70. Yeah, literally $70. And so let's pull to the 1 month. So $70 all the way down to 46. And I did look through the data and I didn't see any like $20 sales or anything that would help tank it. It all looked pretty gradual And it made sense in the sales log is all I'm trying to say. But yeah, I mean, look at this. Shwee! All the way down. Steady uptrend, kind of what you like to see, but then massive tank. And that's why I was looking for some unusually low sales to help make that, you know, valid. But I couldn't find any unusually low sales unless somehow some Japanese sales got registered into there. But I don't know. Let's go to the Rift. Because yeah, 151 is doing almost worse than I've ever seen from a singular week perspective. So the Rift. Alright, what do we got here on the Rift? Alright, so Paradox Rift. We got Goldangos and Mousehold Full Art. And that's pretty much it. So all the Goldangos. You know, not so much this one. This one's always like 30 bucks. But the EX, the Goldango EX, the Full Art. So the Full Art's right here. It's 12 bucks. I believe the regular EX. We'll go find it real quick. It is very important that you guys understand how important it is to pay attention to playable cards in the TCG. And every month, it feels like it's becoming more and more important. So here's the Full Art Gold, or the regular EX Goldango right here. And so more and more people year in and year out are playing the TCG and needing these cards, and it's getting more and more competitive. It's always been competitive, but just the sheer amount of people and how competitive it is. Every like month that goes by, prices are affected by playability on a greater scale, you know, than I seen the month before, the month before, the month before, the month before. So people like Danny Phantom, people like myself, you know, just make sure you pay attention to cards that are playable. Because all the time I bring in playable cards, trade them in for store credit, just so I can get a little bit off of like whatever card, you know, I really want. And yeah, and sometimes it is just absolute bulk commons and uncommons, you know, or uncommons that are trainer cards. But yeah, so the Goldango, and then we said Mosshold right here. It's right here at 1001. This card's been up and down a lot in the past, and it's up, I believe, higher than ever now. Yeah, so as you can see right there, it went up way, way high, way, way, way back in June. And then it went even lower than ever. That's crazy. Look at that graph. 3 all the way up to 8, all the way down to 2, and now it's all the way at its all-time high, and it's double digits. So if you don't care about this card, trade it in or sell it on eBay. Sell it wherever. There you go. Bang, bang. Now let's go to the Fates of Paldea. And the Fates of Paldea, I just wrote Snorlax, Ditto, and Mimikyu again. Snorlax, Ditto, Mimikyu again. Because these 3 were not typically ever anywhere up here, and now they're so obviously up here. Everything about this set always stays in order. With the exception of Clive. Apparently Clive's doing good. I didn't even see that Clive was up. So we'll look at Clive in a sec, but Snorlax at 24, Ditto at 21, and Mimikyu at 18. All 3 of those are doing so good all of a sudden. So look at the Snorlax real quick. So Snorlax is even down to 24 from 26. And we'll look at Ditto real quick at 21. So Ditto at 21, we had just, and this is on the 1 month, 14 up to 21. So there's Ditto, that's 41% on the 1 month for little Ditto. I love the Ditto, baby shiny. And then Mimikyu right here. On the 1 month from 16 up to basically 19, and then down at 1835 right now. And then let's go ahead and look at Clive. Look at Clive real quick, then we're gonna move on. All right, so there's Clive right there at 20 bucks. And then so let's see how high Clive got up to. Holy 78 buyout. Wait, we had a 38 card buyout. And then the Discord chat was sad because it didn't go up enough. And then they told all their buddies to keep buying. So then they bought more. And then they said, okay, now that we're at 20, now sell. And then they started selling. Okay. These little dipshits. I mean, Clive is a fantastic card to buy out. Holy shit. I mean, look at that. What a cute little card. Absolutely. It's a fantastic card. But yeah, there you go. Two major volume bars on that one. Alright, we're going to move on to... I have some interesting things to say about temporal forces. I really do. Okay, so first of all, Raging Bolt. And here's another one where playability, Raging Bolt, always started out of the gates as a playable card. And so TCG playability has a lot to do with Raging Bolt. But let's look at this. Is this like is this an all-time high? No, it's close. 108 on December 9th. That's right. So we're $1.25 off of Raging Bolt's all-time high. And I just wanted to take a second because nothing else is actually up. Currently, everything is just very stable. So because everything, I don't really have anything else to say as far as cards going up or cards going down. I just wanted to take a second and say this. Temporal Forces is hands down the most underrated set in the entire freaking era. Case closed. Unless you're like Pokey Jace, I never hear anyone talk about Temporal Forces just on a grand scale compared to all the... I hear more people talk about how crappy Shrouded Fable is than I hear good Temporal Forces is. And so I had an epiphany. I was looking at all these cards, and I just imagined, what if Raging Bolt all of a sudden one day is $200? And then Walking Wake tracks with it and becomes a $100 card. And we already have a trainer, a Gengar, at 60. And we already have storylines with Sobsbuck and Deerling. We have a Gengar full art. The Arbok and Metagross are so incredibly solid. Litten, an IR nobody expected, has been holding $20 value off and on for the last 6 months. And the golds are extra solid. I think the hyper rares in this set look great. I think Lickitung looks great. Arbok looks great. Litten, the Deerling, the Sawsbuck, and of course Metagross. But then you get 2 Gengar cards, and you get 4 of the most unique. They might as well be storyline artwork on their own, or 5, pardon me. These 5 IRs are incredible. Wait, where's Iron Boulder? Whoa, where's Iron Boulder? Oh, way down here at 18. Okay. Iron Boulder at 18, whatever. The most he's ever been is like 25. But yeah, these guys, I'm sorry. I just think Temporal Forces, no one ever sings. I'm always singing Paradox Rift's praises and other sets. But man, Temporal Force, just every week in and week out, it's very consistent like Stellar Crown, but in a good way, not a bad way. Oh, Stellar Frown. All right, Twilight Gatorade. Paris holding over 100. Perrin, I said Paris. Perrin is holding over 100, so we'll check that out real quick. And Growlithe, Hisuian Growlithe, like 18, down a little. But here's on the 1 month. 92, crack over to 106, crack 106 again, flatlining at 104 for Perrin. And then Dracopult full art is OP, Wellspring Mask full art. So we're just going to look at 2 more full arts. Tatsuguri's down just a little to 23. Tatsuguri got pretty high last week. Dragapult's $16. It's not a hot card of the week. I just wanted you guys to know that this is one of my favorite full arts. I think it's absolutely amazing looking. I just like the light blue and the red. And Dragapult's always been... Look at this. This is playability. This is 100% playability. So just right here in the last 6 months, 7. And you see $17. I'll keep bringing it out. You see 8. You see $17. There's 1 month. Hit a low of 50, whatever. So it's down just a little. So I'm just saying, over the last 1 month, it's stabled off. Whatever. Super, high. It's like almost a $20 card now. Plus, on top of that, it looks really freaking cool, doesn't it? And then we're going to look at Wellspring Mask. Agrippine. Wellspring Mask, Ogerpon. Is that it? Dragapult. Yeah. All right, so Wellspring Mask. We're talking about the full art here. So we're going to go to page 2 real quick. And then we're immediately going to move on again. So Wellspring Mask right there is $6.41. So I don't know if you guys knew that the Wellspring Mask was $6.41, but there it is. And even the Cornerstone is $5.66. And then FYI, Dragapult EX $5.38. I'm just pointing out cards a lot of people who don't play the TCG would probably have no problem getting rid of for a $5 bill. So all 3 of those probably fit that bill, literally. All right, let's go to Shredded Fumble, and we're going to look at 2 hyper rares and then move on. So Shredded Fumble, we got Metal Energy is at $35.26. It just passed up Basic Darkness Energy, which I believe used to be the more expensive of the 2 for the longest time. But as you can see, the 90-day chart is up 40% from 25 up to whatever. And then you see right there, it's from 29 up to 35, which is 17%. Hyper rare. Metal Energy. Metal Energy. And then what else? Petrarunt right here at 24. It's not a big deal, but it got as low as like 18. So I just wanted, you know, or 20 it looks like. And now it's kind of marching its way up little by little. 23, 24, went up to 25 a couple days ago. So there you go with that one. And Stellar Crown. And then I'm gonna ad-lib the entire rest of this or whatever. Just go over with you guys. Stellar Crown, I wrote rough shape. So Stellar Crown, there was something I was gonna say about this. $62 for Terapagos, Squirtle $61, $62. So the turtles are the same price essentially is what we're saying here. Oh, let me close some tabs real quick. Let's go like this so I don't die. It's very rare that my memory usage indicator comes up. I think the last time I saw that was like 6 months ago. So we'll just go like this, and I think that'll make everything better. Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, so Squirtle right here. I have a feeling that Squirtle or Bulbasaur, one of them, probably Squirtle, is going to very much be the chase card, and then something's going to happen with Squirtle, and then it'll be obvious that Squirtle's the chase card, and then Bulbasaur will, you know, follow 20 bucks behind. And who knows where Terapagos EX SR is going to end up. All I know is it's taking forever, but I think we all know that Squirtle and Bulbasaur will eventually be the two chase cards. It's just, yeah. It's just, God, it's so boring. Even Crispin's back down $2. I don't know if you guys watched last week, but Crispin was like a $15 card. And a lot of these other cards are right back in the gutter where they have been. Even Doxbun. Hydrapple's about to be $29. If you're looking for a cool never mind, there's a ton of cool $29, $30 SIRs. Hydrapple's filthy. I love Hydrapple. Alright, we're going to move on to Splurging Sparks. I didn't even write anything. Did I have more notes somewhere? I could have swore I wrote. Alright, so basically, oh, I remember. It was all the Latioses or Melodics? All the Melodics. All the Melodics are doing very good. Literally, the Full Art, the EX, and then the SIR that I'm staring at right here is holding. It's just always $140. Everything else in Surging Sparks is at like its best deal ever. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying now, right here now is the best time to buy anything in Surging Sparks. I am saying everything in Surging Sparks is cheaper than it's ever been. So Pikachu is at $416. Pikachu is essentially free falling. Had a high about $480. Latios was $250. Latias, sorry, it was $250. The gold Pikachu has been as high as $210, and it's $96. Hydreigon's holding just where it always is. Alolan Executor is holding right at its all-time low. But once you go down here, you got Latios for only $34. That's its all-time low. You got Cerulege right here for $25. That's its all-time low. You got the Full Art Pikachu for $26. That's its all-time low. So there's three really big deal cards that are cheaper than ever. I have no idea if they're going to go down more than this. I'm just telling you, I know for a fact that those two IRs and that Full Art are cheaper than ever. So do with that information what you will. Yeah, and then everything else is kind of back down to its pre-IR pump price, exception of Bravery is still up a few bucks, you know, whatever. Point is, now might not be a bad time to buy some Surging Sparks singles. Alright, we're going to move on to the Priz. Problematic Evolutions. So, I did have another piece of paper, because I remember I wrote, Roaring Moon, you can't see my wall, obviously it's behind the camera, but I always have my cheat sheets taped to the wall. But I remember, I wrote, Roaring Moon, because Roaring Moon's $308, we're going to look at that. And then it was the Danny Phantom Iron Crown SIR, which is $100, and then it was Iron Valiant. Those were the three. So let's go ahead and... Oh, and then I wanted to make sure you guys knew that Umbreon Master Ball is under $200. If Umbreon Master Ball is under $200, that means all the Master Balls ain't doing too good. I don't even have to look. But Roaring Moon at $308, we're definitely going to take a look. So on the 1 month, you see 216 to 308, but we can do better than that. 171 to 308. Man, why didn't I buy you? I bought Cerulege at pre-release. It turns out I should have bought Roaring Moon. I made that... I mean, I knew I was going to buy Cerulege no matter what. Ugh. Alright, and then the irons. Iron Crown. And Iron Valiant. So on the 1 month, Iron Crown was 60. It's up, it's quite a lot actually. So it went from 48 all the way to 100 bucks. These cards are so hard to pull. 32 SARs at 1 in every 80 packs is such an insane individual pull rate. Iron Crown should be worth $100. Every single SIR and Prismatic should be worth $100. I hate to say it. I mean, if you just go off of pure difficulty. Iron Valiant, $84. Let's take a look. Low for Iron Valiant of 54, high of 84. Bang, bang. There you go. Now let's take a journey, shall we? Yeah, let's take a journey. All right, so we're just going to look at the leaderboard, see what's going on here. Lily's Clefairy, 268. N Zoroark, 170. Salamence. This Salamence EX reminds me of like well, I guess it would remind me of the Latias. It just, I don't know. It's just solid Pokemon all by itself. Excellent SIR, flying through the air. So cool. All right, so 143. My chase card is Hop Zacian. I love Zacian. And I think Hop's pretty cool too. 115 bucks. Ain't too bad. Oh wait, my other chase card was Iona's Belly Bolt. Shit. 109. Oh my god. At least Volcanion's gonna be $18 here in a little while. Yeah, Volcanion. This is the Iron Boulder of this set. These hyper rares are absolutely gonna tank. I can guarantee you. Iono. There's only 3, so there's a million of them, even though they're hyper rares. Trust me. Ends Zoroark is so cool. Ends Zoroark, Salamence, and I guess if you're into that kind of thing, Lily's Clefairy. My 3 favorite cards in this set have got to be Ends Zoroark EX SIR. Oh wait, that Articuno is solid. The Salamence EX SIR. Iona's Belly Bolt. Hop Zacian. I'm giving you my top 5. Oh no, but I love Whale Lord. Oh, where's the Articuno? Oh, Articuno's right there. All right, this is such an incredible small set. This set is the same size as Stellar Crown, and God, it is just so much better. Oh God, like the freaking full arts. Why did they make Stellar Crown? I mean, they put Squirtle and Bulbasaur in there, and the Terra hats. But man, for a small set, this certainly packs a punch. That is for sure. Like, this right here looks so much better than Obsidian Flames. And I know Obsidian Flames, because we can keep going. We're at still $8 with Iris right there in the corner. Because we still got more. Here, let's go to page 2 real quick. Oh, man. Alright, so on page 2, Lycanroc. Look at that Salamence EX full art. Look at that. Solid. Solid. I pulled Ruffian. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. Even the Swinub looks... Oh, God, the Swinub's $5. There you go. Buy the Swinub right now. Buy the Lycanroc right now. Buy the Maractus right now. These are safe purchases, even at release. Worst case scenario, they go down a buck or two. Oh, man. I think that Salamence looks great. That Salamence full art. Let's check that out real quick. Yeah, maybe a little too pink and purple. Yeah, maybe just a little too much pink. Alright, Crown Zenith time. Usually we start with Crown Zenith, but here we are. So, Crown Zenith, let's see. Let's see what I can find here. Leafeon's $50. That's good for Leafeon. Hello. Let's take a look at Leafeon. Saw Giratina was holding at $199. Very nice. So, Leafeon right here. 45, 50. Okay. Solid. But if you look at the 1 year, it's basically an all-time high. It is an all-time high. There you go. Bang, bang, right there. Leafeon V-Star. All-time high. The card is literally that card right there. You see the slab in the green slab case. Okay, so Glaceon. We still got Deoxys doing great. Suicune. Have you guys noticed over the last 2 years, all Suicune V does is bounce between $30 and $42 specifically? It's the weirdest thing. This card can't stay at 40 or stay under 30. It's always yo-yoing back and forth. Very weird. Darkrai is still... It's weird how Darkrai just so comfortably got up there too. And it's just staying. Mew 17. Simisear V-Star up to 15. But I talked about that last week. God, let's move on. We talk about Crown Zenith way too much. All right, let's get to the alt arts. So I already looked at. Okay, so I actually did glance over all this. I'm not actually ad-libbing it. Umbreon VMAX is down $100 off its high. Everything else is pretty chill, like where it was last week. Yeah, everything on here. Then we'll go to the V's real quick. So I also scanned over these, and all I could really notice was that Umbreon V was down like $20 for whatever reason. So Umbreon V for this card right here is tanking a little bit. So you hit it 295 was the high, and now we're down to 265. So down $30 on Umbreon V for the V alt arts. But other than that, you know, Dragonite V alt art at $240. I gave this card away in a PSA 9 slab on my channel to Never Cold 808 like 3 months ago. What's up, bro? Now it's worth 240 raw. What's it worth in a PSA 9 now? Probably 250. But that's great. Galarian Moltres is actually almost 200. It was, what, a month ago when it was 160. I was saying, just watch. Galarian Moltres will be 200 before you know it. There it is. It's right there. Rayquaza, T-Tar, Charizard, they're all around where they were. Same with Machamp, same with all these others. Galarian Slowking went doubled in price and stayed right where it was at. All the rest of these look about normal, and I did look at page 2 already as well. Alright, the TGs. So the trainer galleries, you guys, guess what? These prices might actually be here to stay. Every week that I log in, I expect everything to start tanking again, just like it did last April. Every week I log in, these trainer galleries are still expensive. So I think this is what I've been saying for the last few weeks, is I think these prices are here to stay. I keep saying here to stay, meaning if some of these do go down here and there, sure, but I think this entire subset, all 120 trainer galleries from the 4 sets, 30 each set, I think they are all going to retain a serious amount of this value. So we got Starmie right at its all-time high, 103, 108 for, 81 for Garchomp. Like seriously, Rayquaza, if this was last year, the Garchomp V and Rayquaza would be back down under 50, and then honestly, they'd be back down under 30. Instead, we have Umbreon VMAX up to $75.75. Like, there's just, and then, okay, so 85. How hard, look at that banding and leveling out. That's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of leveling out rather than free-falling in the trainer galleries. It's just even Blissey. Blissey's $1 more than it was last week. Almost $13 now. Yeah. And we're going to go to page 2 because there's so many trainer galleries that are gaining. And like Blaziken V, both the Blazikens, if this was last April, they would have already been back down to 10 or 12 bucks. Instead, they're still over $25. Just saying, I'm thinking trainer galleries are finally, you know, they're like the creme de la creme, other than the alt arts. So yeah, Galarian Articuno, Aurora V, double digits. Shadow Rider Calyrex, double digits. Duraludon VMAX, double digits. Even the Chonky Chew people don't like is 1 penny away from being double digits. Yeah. There's not too many cheap trainer galleries anymore, period. Corviknight's almost $8. That's when you know. That's when you know. So there you go. All right, moving on. All right, so the stamp promos. Nothing going on here. I already looked, and yes, I looked up Iron Thorns because TCG Player is still so incredibly intelligent that they still haven't included Iron Thorns in this list. Yeah, this is all stable, nothing crazy, but here's Iron Thorns. Iron Thorns is going up, which is why I had to go find Iron. What is wrong with you guys? So look at this, Iron Thorns. This is supposed to say like Pokemon Center exclusive, but it doesn't. It just says Pokemon Center. So it doesn't get grouped in with all the other ones. Like literally. Like they all say Pokemon Center exclusive. This one does not, which is why it's not on this list. And then they don't even have an image for it. Alright, Sword and Shield promos. Look at some Sword and Shield promos. So the 3 Zardy boys. Let's see. 32, 19, and 16. All 3 of those are like 10% off their highs, whatever. Lucario's down. Everything's... I don't see too much going on. I don't. A Gengar pre-release is up to $7.75. It's usually $4 or $5. Yeah, not too much going on here. And in fact, we're going to come back to Sword and Shield in just a second. So I'm going talk about some Sun and Moon promos right here. So Stained Glass Birds right at its high. Umbreon Darkrai right at their high. Armor Mewtwo just 10 bucks off its high. Let's look at Garchomp and Giratina, one of my favorite promos. It looks like it might be at its all-time high. Yep. Garchomp Giratina, 46 to 60. Bang, bang. God, I love that card so much. I do. It's so cool. Oh. Mewtwo and Mew. Let's take a look at Mewtwo and Mew. I don't know if Mewtwo and Mew has ever been 100. Yeah, okay. 140 was its high, so it's leveling at 130. This is one of my ultimate Sun and Moon promo chase cards now that I don't have. I've been saying that for years. Why didn't I buy it last year? Because I can't find a perfect copy of it. Or a nice copy of it. Are we on best selling? Oh, we're on high to low. Get back to best selling. Shall we? Pikachu and Zekrom, 107. That seems unusually high. I could be wrong. Nope, that is unusually high. Okay. So Pikachu and Zekrom. See what I'm saying, guys? I can ad-lib this. A lot of PokeTubers do not have the balls to do this kind of thing just straight without, you know, rehearsal. I'm just good with numbers. I'm just good. I just remember numbers. I'm very good at just randomly, for who the hell knows why, remembering numbers. Probably because I was born premature. There's some weird mental brain development that made me keep track of numbers very well. EVGX SM233 is the card that brought me into the hobby, back into the hobby, back in 2019. This is also at an all-time high. Sheesh. So there you go. Let's see. Low at 57, high at 65 right there. You gotta get this card. You gotta get it, even a light play, a heavy. You just gotta get it and throw it somewhere and stare at it every once in a while. It's so nice. All right, so now I want to show you guys something. This looks like the tab we were just on, but it's actually different. So I want to tell you guys about Sun and Moon real quick. It's actually a completely different tab. When it comes to the Sun and Moon era, the promos are so much more popular than everything else in the Sun and Moon era. So obviously, yes, there's some bangers in Cosmic Eclipse and Unified Mind, and there's some cool cards. But the Sun and Moon promos are infinitely bought and sold more than anything else in Sun and Moon. So this list is actually the best selling of Sun and Moon, not just promos. And it almost looks like pure promos, literally. By the way, this Garchomp Cosmofoil just had a buyout for obvious reasons. But things like, you know, the team up Gengar and Mimikyu GX, okay, that's not a promo, 120 bucks. My channel, my YouTube channel banner right here is up to $31. I paid like $8 for all mine. But yeah, so it's promos everywhere you look, right? And it's kind of hard on the best selling tab to not find promos. And then you go to Sun, and now we're gonna go to Sword and Shield. I was gonna say there is some like the Snorlax VMAX or the Gengar VMAX. Oh wait, that's Sword and Shield. All right, we're gonna get to that in a sec. I got ahead of myself. So here's Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield is not so much about promos. It's all about the trainer galleries and the alt arts with a dash of promos. And the dash of promos being the Charizard, UPCs, and a few others. But on this list right here, I took off the trainer gallery, so you won't just see nothing but alt arts and trainer galleries. But this is the best selling of Sword and Shield, and if I did have trainer galleries, all we would see for the first 2 or 3 pages essentially is alt arts and trainer galleries and very few promos. So here's a regular card, Gengar VMAX from Fusion Strike. Directly under it, Snorlax VMAX from the base set. Those are both regular VMAXs that are very popular, very expensive. You got Vivid Voltage, Secret Rare, Pikachu. But yeah, so with Sun and Moon, I'm just trying to, just so you know, the Sun and Moon era is very popular for its promos. The Sword and Shield era is very popular for its alt arts and its illustration rares. And then everything else under that, okay? So, and then the Scarlet and Violet era is probably going to be very remembered for its illustration rares and its Pokemon Center stamped illustration rare promos. So, every era has kind of something that becomes the favorite that gets bought and sold a lot more than everything else. That's all I was trying to blab out of my mouth right there. All right, let's go to Gym Heroes. Gym Heroes, Sabrina's Gengar. All right, so here we go. We're in the Wizards of the Coast, 2003, I believe. Gym Heroes 2003, I think. Sabrina's Gengar, Blaine's Moltres, and we got Erica's Dragonair, Rocket's Scyther, and Misty. So first of all, you see there's two two Moltres. Blaine's Moltres and there's Rocket's Moltres. One's 166, one's 101. One has a ton of hollow paper showing, aka could be scratched. One doesn't have that much hollow, so I have a feeling Blaine's Moltres has a much lower pop than Rocket's Moltres, which is why Blaine's Moltres is a lot more. Sabrina's Gengar, same thing. Look at all that wide open hollow for print lines, mainly print lines. That's the issue with Wizards of the Coast, is print lines. And so if there's a large amount of either light colored or just open area, it is very easy to have factory printed print lines in these Wizards of the Coast cards. Anyway, so Sabrina's Gengar and Blaine's Moltres probably have very, very low pops just because of the way their print is. And then we go here, we go down. I just wanted to point out, because I did take a quick little look at this earlier. We have, where is it? First of all, Erica, let me tell you a little story about first edition Erica Gem Heroes. This is the first card I ever created with PSA. I bought a first edition Erica like 7 years ago for like 20 bucks on eBay. I graded it, and it's my first ever PSA 10. That's what it was. It was in my first sub, but it was the first ever PSA 10 that I ever got. It was Gem Heroes Erica first edition. That was kind of cool. So I want to show you guys something though. Rocket Snorlax, which is a non-holo rare for only $56. And then what was the other non-holo rare? There's another really good non-holo rare, isn't there? Maybe it's in Gym Challenge. Yeah, I think it might be in Gym Challenge. But all I'm saying is Rocket Snorlax. I know it's not a holo rare, but my gosh, a first edition Rocket Snorlax. I don't know how easy it is to find a first edition Rocket Snorlax for only 60 bucks. But man, that would look good in a slab. Especially a PSA 10 slab. That's just solid. That is perfect. Doesn't matter at all that it's not a holo. So there you go. So on the 1 month, that's from 27 up to 29. And as you can see, I don't cover vintage or anything that's too old because of lack of volume, which is why that looks all wonky. But man, that's a cool card. That's very cool. That and like, oh, actually, here, we'll get to that in a second as well. All right, so beautiful, beautiful. The Rocket's Trap, first edition, 30. Okay. Lieutenant Surge's Pikachu's 10 bucks. Is this actually first edition? I feel like Lieutenant Surge's Pikachu in first edition would be way more than 10 bucks. Let's see if it groups. Let me see this real quick. Look at the sales. Okay, here we go. Wait. It is first edition. Wow. So the Unlimited's like $2 or $3 and the first edition is, wow. I would love to pay 10 bucks and get this in a PSA 10 and somehow, if, you know, I'm sure you're not, but. All right, let's go to Gym Challenge and we'll wrap it up. All right, so Blaine's Charizard, duh. Rocket's Mewtwo, duh. Sabrina's Alakazam, duh. Wait, Erica's Venusaur is way down there? That's interesting. Blaine's Charizard is exceptional. It's like, what, $4,500, $6,000 in 10? When we're not in a bubble, it's like $4,000 in a 10. Rocket's Mewtwo is like $2,500 in a 10 usually. Okay, Misty's Gyarados. Erica's Venusaur, I think, was always my favorite. Just, I don't know. I just think the holo looks very beautiful. And it's off to the side. I don't know. I like Erica's Venusaur quite a lot. I'm just a Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur fan, period. Let's look at the 1 year. Low of 96, high of 102. Yeah, vintage does not move very much. So cool, though. I would not mind having the most heaviest play binder of Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge. Some of these cards are cheap. Super cheap. In the uncommons, some of these uncommons, there's so many good artworks. Like Sabrina's Haunter right here, that's just a regular uncommon. If more people like saw and just, there are so many Wizards of the Coast and then like Diamond and Pearl and like kind of older after Wizards of the Coast, common and uncommon artworks that are just incredible. So yeah, let's go back here. I'm gonna take one more once over and then we're done. Rocket Zapdos is always a banger. Let's go ahead and look at the 1 year on that. 44 up to 55, no biggie. Look at sales, see if we can see an actual near mint unlimited 73. So near mint first edition holofoil. This is why When it comes to ultra modern, all the prices are going to be way closer together. When it like as far as condition prices comes to vintage, especially Wizards of the Coast, people are definitely willing to pay way more than market price for a card if it has a photo and it is indeed in good condition. So let's look at this $178 sale that has a photo. I was about to say, are you serious? But yeah, there's a photo right here. Rocket Zapdos, clean. Holy moly, is that clean. That looks so clean. This was sold on TCG Player. We gotta look at the bet. Whoa! 2 little white dots and that's it. Alright, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm done. I am so done. Oh god, did I go an hour again? Alright, thank you guys very much. I did not go an hour. I went like 50, whatever. I did better. Thank you guys very much. Please consider liking, commenting, and remembering all the good stuff. I'm gonna start pumping my stuff more. I'm gonna start trying to nickel and dime you guys a little bit. My membership is $1.99. Solid. By the way, my membership, if you do become a member, all you get literally is a square next to your name, which means I might respond to your comments slightly faster than the moochers. Alright, see you guys later. Have a great weekend. Hope you can find some journey together, unlike Shiny Vert. Deuces.